Hey everybody, Dr. Dave Marquis here, and I wanted to answer a question that has come up several times because I've mentioned it in passing, and it is part of the steps in the antiviral protocol, and it's a nasal spray. It's a 1% iodine nasal spray, and it has been made part of a number of different protocols relative to reducing infection in the airways. So previously I had done a video on the use of nebulized hydrogen peroxide. This is another tool to have in your tool belt. And just as I recommended having a home nebulizer and some food grade hydrogen peroxide and some opportunities for pure water on hand, I'm recommending to have these things on hand, which is in this cup I just have some distilled water. And over here I just have some betadine or povidone. It's a 10% iodine solution, and you don't want to use that straight. Okay, you're going to need to dilute that down. So I wanted to make this brief video just to help people to understand how to make that dilution and then what you can actually use that for afterwards. So I have a 20 milliliter syringe here. It's not a syringe with a needle on it. It just has a blank top, but it can draw fluid up. And you could pick these up at any drugstore. As a matter of fact, I've even seen some things like this in hardware stores. So they're really inexpensive, but the nice thing about it is that they're metered. And it allows you to draw up a very specific amount of solution, and that's what needs to happen. Right here, I just have a blank nasal sprayer or a sprayer. And again, these are very inexpensive. You can usually get them for a few dollars. But you do want something that has the ability to have metered sprays. So if you have that and a syringe, and then you go down to the drugstore and you buy yourself from the first aid section a bottle of 10% povidone or betadine, you'll have everything that you need. All I'm going to do is I'm going to take this syringe and I'm going to put it into that water, and I'm going to draw up 20 milliliters of water. And so I'm going to push that down. Now I've got 20 milliliters of water, and I would then put that water into this bottle, and I'd push that in. And now this thing's going to be empty. And over in this other cup, I'm going to have a little bit of the betadine. And then I'm going to draw up 2 milliliters of betadine. So it's only going to come up to that mark right there. So it's going to be very little. So I'm basically doing a 10-to-1 ratio, 10 parts water to 1 part povidone. But since I went up to the 20 milliliter mark, it's going to be 20 milliliters of water to 2 parts of this. It's still a 10-to-1 ratio. And then I'm going to put that in here. And then you simply screw that down, and you're going to shake it up, and you've just made yourself a 1% solution of iodine. And this can be used nasally, it can be used orally, but it's fantastic for clearing the airways of infection when you don't have the nebulizer around, or you can actually use those in tandem, and I've used that for a variety of different infections, including the whole COVID. So it's worked well for me, it's worked well for my family, it's worked well for hundreds of my patients, and it's an old proven remedy. You just need to make sure that you have your solutions right so that you're not putting too much iodine into the body. But it works really well, so I encourage you to have that set up at home. It's a very inexpensive, safe thing to do, and it's very preventative. You'll want to spray each nostril maybe once, about 4 times a day when you have an active infection. And then it can be used in a preventative way when you're traveling. And since it's a small enough vial, it's something you could actually fly with. So those are just some thoughts on one more tool that you could put into your tool belt to be well. And that's what I want for everybody. Again, be well, have a great day.